Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Spark Jobs. I am Mike. I'm super happy that you're joining us either live or watching the recording afterwards. And before I bring my guest out, the founder of Haddon Strategy, about this very exciting role, I just want to give you some context. What is this? What is a live job description? And a live job description is our version of reinventing how you sell or talk about a job. A lot of the times when you read these boring, generic job descriptions, you're left with, what? What are they looking for? What do they want? So we break that and we do it in an interview fashion, very conversational. So Shanna's going to come out. We're going to talk about her company. We're going to talk about this role specifically. And that's how it works. You can sit there. You can interact with us by asking us questions real time as we're going through the conversation. Or you could just sit back, enjoy your cup of coffee, beer, or wine. No judgments. It's a beautiful day on a Friday. I'm certainly going to be doing that right after. And then just kind of take in the information. We want you to experience what this job would be like. And there's nobody better to lead that experience than who your potential future boss is going to be. So sit back, relax, enjoy the conversation. And if you're interested after the conversation or after the video, get in touch with myself and we can work on next steps. Now, without further ado, is it ado? I'll have to ask Shanna about that. I'm going to welcome Shanna. Now, before I do, a bit of a background. She's a very successful entrepreneur, athlete, / fitness enthusiast, parent, and I am lucky enough to know her personally and now professionally. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the one, the only, Shanna. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
How you doing?
That was a nice introduction.
Well, I try. You don't have a Wikipedia page, so there wasn't a lot of information that our research department could bring up. So
I see. Oh, maybe you missed my small IMDb page that I actually found this morning randomly.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, before we get into this discussion, I have a very important question for you.
Okay.
How many cups of coffees do you have in a day? And while you're thinking about it, because every time I see you and talk to you, the energy is just
really
insane. And yeah, and knowing that like you're balancing all of these things, I just like, how many? It's got to be like over under 5 cups a day.
So 1 to 2 cups a day, but I'll tell you my secret is I train at a very good gym. And that gives me really good energy, the natural way. Although I do love my coffee, I have to say. It's a bit of a ritual for me as it is for a lot of people. But I train at a wonderful gym called Lift.
Amazing. Thanks for the plug. Thanks for that. So while we kick things off, I don't want you to go through your whole career background and things that way, but give, curious candidates and people that are attending this a little bit of background about yourself, why you founded Haddon Strategy and what you love best about the agency that you built.
Okay. That's a good question. So I have to go back a few years now to jog my memory. So it was in 2008 that I founded HS or Haddon Strategy. And I did it in a recession, 2008, when everyone, the economy had kind of crashed. And I was really thinking about what I was going to do. I had started off as a theater enthusiast. So I was a director and an actor, and realized that I was quite mediocre at that, and realized that I was actually really good behind the camera, and I became a producer. And I started in documentary films, and I loved the concept of storytelling, and I loved true stories. I love the idea of taking the essence of someone's real life and encapsulating it in a way that people could digest it and understand it and relate to it. And from documentaries, I moved into apps, I moved into websites, and then into design and branding, and found myself to becoming a really seasoned creative director. And that, as I evolved, HS evolved. And it started off as just me. And then we grew and we started to bring on different clients in different industries. And we started to launch different types of products. And whenever we would launch the products, we would also launch the strategy and execute the strategy behind that product so that we knew the cool thing we made would go far and would talk to the right people. So we were holistically involved from the whole production. Because what I experienced with a lot of agencies is they would make really great stuff, give it back to the client, and it wouldn't really grow legs. It wouldn't really get out there. And so I said, okay, let me take the products that we make, because I really believe in some of the creative stuff we do, and let me put it on an amazing runway and shoot it out. And then through there, we decided we collected runways. We collected all flight plans for different types of industries. And we became a bit of a book of knowledge over the years. And then when COVID hit, we started a new umbrella. We got into automotive marketing, which is its own beast. So we've got this like automotive section, we have an industry agnostic section, and we have a charitable section where we can help fundraise. We help start foundations for companies. We help bring brand and cause together in partnership. And we've worked with a bunch of charities in that way too. So we have those three core areas, like charity, companies, and automotive specifically, which is its own, as I said, its own nut to crack. And that's how it evolved. It was a really organic process. And I have some core people. I have a wonderful creative designer who's been with me for so long. We have a lot of people that we've worked with collectively. Like we're a small, tight group, but we need to grow. And we've exhausted our ability to find people like in our small niche that can kind of fit our way. So this is why we came to you, Mike, for your help.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that background on yourself and kind of HS and kind of what you've done and how you've evolved the business as the market has changed. So
Yeah.
as we kind of take that viewpoint and now get down to this role, this, and I'm not one for titles. You call it growth marketing, digital marketing, senior digital
Right.
marketer. There's a bunch of different ways we could title this,
Right.
but in your words, what
Mhm.
is this role?
Okay. So it is, what I think what works for us, because we were always in an office before and now we're remote. So that's a bit of a shift, but I think we're finding our groove with that. So it's definitely someone who's really good at self-starting and self-managing and who's creative. And we're looking for culture as much as talent, because we have a really good energy, whether we have 1 or 2 cups. Doesn't matter. We still bring good energy. And we're very positive and we like to joke and we like, it's a very cool vibe. And I'm less of a boss and more of a team player and a partner. So the role itself, that's kind of the culture setup. This role specifically is we have a lot of people coming to us saying we need Facebook ads. We need Twitter ads. We need Google Analytics. We need GA4, which everyone has to come, roll over to, because Google Analytics is moving to, they're getting rid of their other platform. And it's how do we use GA4? How do we create goals and tracking? How do we run Facebook ads? What budget should we run on Facebook? What budget should I run on Google? Should they be the same? We get these questions all the time. And the better we answer them, the better clients are like, please run our ads. Please get us leads. Please find us new customers. Please audit what we're already doing and see if we're overspending. Please get our cost of conversion down. It's too high, and we can't keep up because we need a specialist. It's a specialized role to be able to audit Facebook ads if they're currently running, or start them from the beginning if they're not. To look at somebody's Google ads and say, here's where we see the issue. Like, there's not enough campaign types. You're not, eliminating negative keywords. You're overspending. It's too competitive in this one area. We should switch over to here. There's a lot of, intellectual insight, and then there's the execution part of it. So it's seeing where the holes are or the opportunities are, and then being able to kind of say, yeah, I'll kick ass at those Google ads. I'll slay, and we'll improve it, or we'll start it for you from scratch. And then the component of tracking. So how do we know we're doing a good job?
I think, in terms of, this is great information. Your clients see you as a trusted advisor. They come to you and they're trying to grow their business, and you're helping them by looking at what they're currently doing, if they have something, and how they can do it better. Or if they're not doing anything, you can kind of point them in the right direction and set them up for success to achieve those growth targets. So really you're helping organizations grow or optimize their growth if they're already on that trajectory where there could be a more effective way of doing it.
Right. And recently I had a potential new client that came and said, okay, we want to start advertising and we don't know what our budgets should be and what platforms. And they gave me a list of 6 platforms. Can you pick which platforms we should go on, what we should say, and how much we should spend? And that's fun because I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's look at this. I mean, there's a chance here for opportunity. There's a chance to do something new. There's a chance that we know what works already. We're like, you know what? Let's apply this model. This model works. You're going to get it. We're like, hey, let's try something. Some clients are really into fun, new. They'll try something different. So they'll give us room to play as we gain their trust. And I like it because there's fair budgets, like there's decent budgets. We're not we get clients with really healthy budgets who are looking at either a regional play. They want to talk to, let's say, Ontario, or in some cases, they want to go national and talk to all of Canada. Sometimes it's international and we're dealing with Europe or we're dealing with the States. We can run ads in French. We can run ads in Spanish. We've done all of that. So it's interesting to see kind of what we get. But what I'm hearing from the clients I do speak to is that this is what they want. They want effective, good ads and digital marketing strategy. And I need someone to help me with all those client requests that are coming in to be able to take that department in HS and take it to the next level.
So what would a day in the life look like for this individual, given, you kind of give us background on the culture, kind of and before I jump into that, just quick, is it B2B businesses that you do, or you do B2C, or both in terms of for your customer? You do both. Okay. So B2B and B2C.
So sometimes, yeah, we can be pushing, we can be doing B2B or we can be doing B2C. Often we do B2C because we're pushing a product or we're pushing an opinion or a message or a book, or we are pushing a $90,000 new Ram truck. It can be a lot of different things, right? So it depends. But so in some cases, we could be trying to get information out to people. It could be informative or opinion changing. So Canada thinks on average one way about a topic, and we're going to try and move the needle and see if we can get Canadians to start thinking differently about a topic. And so that could be the conversion point, not just a sale, not a purchase. Sometimes we've made the e-commerce site we're driving to. Sometimes we haven't. It depends on the situation. So a day in the life is, we have our design team and our copywriting team. So it's like, do you have the assets you need to run? Are we beginning? Do we have our core ads that are running? So you check the health of them. You do an account check, let's say, on all the clients you've got under your purview. And then it's, hey, we're onboarding someone new. So what we're doing this week, we're onboarding a new group of companies. So and they have parts set up and parts not. So it's, okay, we have to redo this part that isn't really set up properly. We have to start this whole area and get them on some kind of turning mechanism that we would call, the HS way. And it's not called Haddon strategies. It's called Haddon strategy for a reason, because we deploy one strategy, which is like a clean, simple process that's organized with reporting. Now, what that strategy is varies, right? But the process to get a client onboarded, to get results, we're very real. There's not a lot of like razzle dazzle. We're kind of come down to what is the authenticity of who you are? Who do you want to speak to? What do you want to say? Are you saying it clearly? And then let's get you to the people who are going to listen. That's the strategy. And we try to be as authentic in the way we do that strategy. And we try to get our clients to be as authentic in the way they talk. Like authenticity is big for us. So that's why I don't call it strategies. There's a lot of different creative ideas, but we put them on one process. And that helps us as a team stay organized. So we're not frenetic. We're trying to stay on one simple, like we have a process that we like to do, and this process works.
And what would you say individuals coming in, and we talked about the soft skills and the culture fit, but from a hard technical skills, what do you think would set this individual up for success in terms of what they've done before that they can bring to HS to kind of have them hit the ground running?
That's a good question. So if they have Facebook and Google Ads experience, then they will know what a really good, healthy Facebook ad account, like what Ads Manager looks like when it's properly running, when it's optimized, when it has UTM codes, when it has a Facebook pixel properly deployed, when we have different campaign types, when we are using potentially multiple creatives. Potentially it could be an inventory, it could be a catalog feed, it could be a single image, it could be a carousel. So they're really familiar with different creative ad types. They're familiar with optimizing Facebook. They're familiar with potentially writing some copy or flagging when copy is not strong, or when there's creative fatigue, to say, hey, we need to cycle through these ads have creative fatigue, the frequency is high. They need some Google Ads experience, Google Analytics experience, because you really want to utilize, Facebook reporting is good, Google Ads reporting is good, but apples to apples, if it's all in Google Analytics, it's the one tracking place where we can really level set on if we're doing a good job or not, and that's important. So we like to rely on GA as as our purview into what's going on, and understanding budgets. On average, what does $5,000 a month versus $15,000 a month get you? When is someone overspending? When are they underspending? On Google Ads, it's about search. That's an intent-based platform. People are going there looking for something. So they're almost pre-qualified in some ways more than they are on Facebook, because they're randomly scrolling, and then you want to divert them from what they were doing. You want to talk to them and have them stop in their tracks. Whereas Google, they're looking for you potentially. So it's more intent-based searching, and that's a different approach. So someone who has a seasoned knowledge of the differences of those platforms would be really, really great. And of course, having the technical background or the know-how of how to set up great campaigns.
Cool. That's great. That gives us a foundation of like the skill set, someone coming in that would really set them up for success in this role. And, kind of in terms of your team and how they work with you, what does your team love the best about working at HS?
The early Fridays off. My bad puns. No. A terrible joke. What do they love about? You'd have to ask them. But I think, I like the people that I work with a lot. I like them as human beings. I care about them. They mean a lot to me. I think they're some of the best at what they do. They're so talented, and they a lot of them, they can kind of finish my sentences in some ways, and we jive really, really well. And they're very nimble and fast. Sometimes things take a long time for a good idea to percolate. Sometimes on the design side, it can be very, very quick. Like we can invent things very fast that might take another agency months. They would have a meeting about a meeting about a meeting. We're more cut all that out. We try to really trim, wasteful time and work more efficiently. I'm very easygoing. I'm more of a perfectionist about the creative stuff, but I'm easygoing in terms of like things come up and everyone's schedule is, I'm very flexible in terms of the work day or the workflow. No one clocks in or clocks out. It's not that kind of thing. People are very self-managed, and we're results-based.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and how do people work the best with you as the leader of Haddon Strategy? Like, you've probably had a bunch of people that have worked for you and kind of still do, but how do they work the best with you?
So there's a few things. So when we manage the client asks, sometimes the client has a result they want, but they have no idea how to get there. And they really are hoping that we will help them figure it out and be the one with the machete in the jungle going first and cutting all the vines down and going, here's your path. There it is, right? Just right along this way. Oh, watch out for the scorpion. So we are those guides. Sometimes they're very specific. No, they know what they want. In this particular instance, it needs to be exactly that. And there's less maybe room to shape some things. for Google ads and Facebook ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, any kind of digital marketing, they don't know. They're not experts. They don't know. We need to come to the table and tell them. And sometimes I don't know. So what's helpful for me is if a specialist who really knows Google ads, I mean, I know a lot about it, but I do not know everything. So if I need someone to flag to me, I need a good team member to be like, hey, you know what? This campaign isn't working. We need to shut it off and pivot to something else. I've noticed this. Or, hey, you know what? I tested this link and the link is broken. We have to call the website provider because we're running ads to a broken link. Or, some of that kind of stuff where they're doing some due diligence on our work and maybe on other people's work that we have to rely on. That is phenomenal for me, because when we catch those kinds of things, we look like we have the client's back, and then we become invaluable to them. And that is huge. And I'm always bigging up the people who do that. So like it's a lot of my clients know that there is a team behind me, and it is not at all just Shayna, that there is a lot of people making it happen, and they get all of that credit. And then we get to innovate because they start to trust us. So then if this person has new great ideas and they have new things to bring to the table, all of a sudden HS gets bigger and better and more robust because we have their creativity now. And that is immeasurable to me. And I love to share the stage like that. And I love to mentor or give space to or help big up the people who work with me.
Awesome. And in closing,
okay,
why would someone want to come work with you? The options out there, okay. They're in demand, talent's in demand. Why you, Shayna? Why Haddon Strategy? What's your elevator pitch for top talent? And just so people know some context, we didn't plan this. I totally just put her on the spot. So this is why I'm giving her. I'm stalling to give her some time to think.
No, I'm good on the spot.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
I think we have a really flexible environment in terms of like lifestyle flexibility, that kind of thing. So I think it lends itself to some people having lives. Like I really respect the fact like I'm a mom. It's hard to do it all, and I'm really flexible on that. I want people to have a full life, not just work for HS and live and die by that. That's the first thing. The second thing is every day is so different, because we could be doing an environmental company one day, a charity the next day. We could be building an automotive marketing campaign for someone else. We can be launching a national book the next day. Like it's really varied and fun, and you get to be extremely creative, because we can be doing crazy, like we come up with some ideas that are hysterical and wild, and then they work. And then we get to see our, funny things that we came up with on a Friday, and we get to see them in the market that, in the next couple of weeks, and people are they're loving it. It's being shared. We do a lot of social stuff that is just funny. We have a lot of clients that are playful. We have some that are serious. There's just a variety of industries, variety of work, and a variety of different ways to get our hands dirty and creative. And I think when we get good results and we see what works, there's a lot of pride there, and it's very dynamic.
I want to summarize that with flexibility, variety, I guess creativity, and execution results.
And that your voice will matter. I think we're all on the same level, and we all come together, and it's just, we all want to do the best job, and there's no airs. There's no, we try to keep it very chill, unless there's like a fast deadline, and then it's like, we have to make a deadline very fast.
Or we're on our third cup of coffee and the energy's real high.
Or we're on our third cup of coffee, or we're all at Lyft doing a team building at your gym.
There you go. You go.
We're doing handstands against the wall, which you can do like nobody I've ever seen.
Well, thanks for doing this. Thanks for tuning in. Next steps is get in touch with me. We'll put together an application. You'll get an opportunity to create a video response. Shayna will get to see in response to this. So it's going to be fun. we're going to be able to authentically tell our own stories,
Right.
which just heard from Shayna, and now you're going to get to do on your side. I hope you had fun doing this. Was
Mike,
it
can I
okay?
just add one last thing that I just thought
You
of?
totally can.
Because
Totally can.
I have about four clients or so that are new clients that I wanted to bring on. So with this role, one of the cool things is that we'll be starting them together. So they're not taking over legacy projects in a lot of sense. It would be new work we would start together. So there is that aspect, because one of the reasons why I came to you was because I said, Mike, I have all these new clients who want to join and I have nobody to do the work. Help. So I'm there. I just have them on standby to start until I can find someone who can help me execute. So it's nice that they're not getting handed down legacy stuff. In some sense, they get to create it from scratch.
Perfect. They'll get started. We're going to
Right.
put them through the process. We'll be kind of going through and be in touch next week. I had a great time. Did you have
Thank
fun?
you. Yes, I did.
Amazing. Guys, guys and girls, we will be in touch. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.